Welcome everyone. Today we have a new build guide for Path of Exile 1 for the new season starter. Looking behind me, over here I am playing a Leap Berserker, and I have made a few of my own adjustments to the Berserkers. So what I want to show you guys is the mobility of this build, and yes, this is the day 1 guide. I'll be updating this one as I play the character and as I get into early, mid, and also end game mapping. I'll be updating the build with you guys. So what is the highlight about my Berserker build is that we have tons of survivability, including life, all resistance, damage, AoE, and also a lot of ability to move around the place. So let me fast forward a little bit to show you guys the mobility of the build. We are a SLAM Berserker. I know it's a little bit old school, but it's actually the first time I played the Berserker class in Path of Exile 1, and it is super fast. So I have gotten a few special items and also links available so that I'm life tabbing and I no longer worry about my mana. And that means I can be leaping everywhere and stomping everything in front of me. And this build also has tons of mobility, and also sometimes you do get stuck. But yes, the build has tremendous amount of damage simply because we can be getting easily into 5 or 4 links and then stacking a lot of physical damage using a particular unique weapon that is somewhat very powerful once you reach level 64. But before that, the build can also be very strong. So over here, I want to demonstrate to you guys a little bit about the build's mobility, and I have prepared about a 8-minute replay video to show you guys everything, including mapping, including doing the bridges, and also against fighting different horde of monsters. The build has some really decent AoE damage, and we are very fast in terms of mobility. Now, to fast forward a little bit and to demonstrate the build really excels in zones, which allows you to jump across the zone. And this really helped me to level super fast once I get my build going, which is after around level 20 to level 30, and then there's nothing stopping us. You can see we're super durable. There's even more ways of getting more tanky using the latest seasonal item, and we're very speedy. Tons of damage. So let me showcase you guys the damage a little bit. So here I am doing an Act 8 story boss, and yes, I am leveling a little slower because I've been tweaking around this build and just taking my time playing the new season and trying things out. So here's a boss, and take us 1 slam, 2 slam, 3 slams. Yes, this is the build in progress, but I think it's a good point on day 1 to showcase the build to you guys, and I'll be highlighting the related items I'm using for this current build. I do believe I can easily get into mapping with this particular setup, and the entire budget of the build is less than 5 chaos. And I'll talk to you guys about the pricing of those items, what costs the most, and what can be easily acquired for 1 or 2 alchemy orbs. So what I want to do is, I want to bring us over to the character, but later I'll be importing all the build and also information and continuously updating this character on the links below. So make sure you guys follow the build list guide as well. So briefly talking about the build and how does it work. We are a SLAM Leap Berserker, and I do plan to go into Earth Shatter later once I get to more skill points and also better cooldowns. So at the moment, we're actually a Sunder SLAM Berserker. We have some very fast mobility, including very quick slams because of the support gems we're using for slams. Well, we're using the Leap Slam over here. So Leap Slam is combined with life tap support, momentum, and also fast attack support. So this really allows me to map super fast once I get this link going. Now, I do want to give credits and also thanks to the YouTuber I'm learning from. I am learning from Imexile, and if you've seen my previous video, I actually picked his build out of the 3 builds I was looking at. And to my surprise, it is a very nice build. So if you haven't seen his guides, he does have a previous teaching guide, and then there's the detailed explanation of the build, including Earth Shatter. I did follow somewhat closely to his builder's guide, but I made my own adjustments according to my preference. So what has changed? I am adding with Leap Slam, I'm adding with life type support, and this allows me to not worry about mana at all. We have so much life regen, so much mana, and we're so tanky, you don't even see my health go down. And you can see my health go down a little bit, but then comes back. And during battles, I'm leaping super fast everywhere. And sometimes we do get stuck. So similarly, Sunder is my current choice of main DPS spell. In the hideout, it is sitting on about 30,000 DPS. In the fights, it could go to 90,000 or 100,000 DPS. And I'm not even high enough level, only level 65. So, Sunder for my main damage is combined with Ruthless, combined with Paralyze, with melee physical damage support, and also life tap. So again, we have 2 life tap, and this means we pretty much not spending mana at all except casting Molten Shell. And also maybe Blood Rage, but Blood Rage doesn't really cost much, it costs life as well. So now, in terms of the other choices, I have followed quite closely in terms of the passive tree, and you can see my passive tree is designed to change into the Warcry and also Earth Shatter in the future. But at the moment, what I'm really liking and also using is this particular unique weapon. This weapon is only available after level 64. And the highlight about this weapon is that it has some really high physical damage. So you can see it is 400 to 696. It can roll even higher. So just to show you guys a little bit, the previous weapon I was using, if I can find my axe, I don't know where I left my axe. The previous bit, oh, I think I sold it. I probably sold it. So the previous rating I was using was pretty much half the damage, and that was physical and also elemental damage. So this is a huge upgrade. Now, big importance for buying those weapons, which I'll provide you guys with the trade filters, is that this weapon actually comes with multiple choices of effects. And if you do not get the chance on bleed, this is actually a very bad idea, because other than chance of bleed, this actually reduces attack speed by a massive amount, up to 30%. You definitely do not want to buy a weapon that is reducing attack speed. So you can find a weapon that provides you with effects that actually increase your bleeding chance. Now I am filtering this for a little lower. Previously it was selling about 1 to 3 chaos. I got mine for about 1 chaos, which is a lucky find. But you can see there's a lot of people listing for 1 chaos over here before I actually moved away. You can see those are still selling for the chance to cause bleeding on hit. This is the FXs you wanted. You do not want the slow attack speed, so make sure you read this carefully. Getting higher physical damage is preferable, but sometimes can't be helped. I'm okay with under 700 DPS for the physical damage. Now, second thing to notice if you do plan to try this weapon at level 64. If you're using any item that requires intelligence, which I'll show you guys over here, notice all my items are unaccessible, simply because most of my items still needed some intelligence. This one needed 25 intelligence. This particular weapon provided huge piece of damage, and the Bomb Nova also provided some bonus damage, but the downside is you lose your intelligence massively by 80%. So what that means is I have been stat stacking. Notice that without this weapon, I'm sitting on about 146 intelligence, but with the weapon, we're only sitting on 29 intelligence. The drawback, and the reason it took me so long to play around with this weapon, is I had to min and max to find ways of finding intelligence. The best way of finding intelligence is using this unique amulet, which is selling for about 1 to 3 chaos at the moment, and this also provides us with some really good damage, some resistance, and also tons of all attributes. You can also find stats on the rings, stats on the gloves, the belt, the boots, and also the helmet. You can see my helmet is actually a really old helmet, just very basic, but it had some intelligence. So if I take this off, things are unusable, because the gems over here require a bit of intelligence as well. So the weapon itself doesn't require intelligence, but make sure you check the items accordingly. Now you can see during the fights, I'm only using 1 Quicksilver potion, and I'm already pretty speedy. And this means we can be very fast across the map and doing pretty much one-shot damage in everything in front of us, all the way to the story, the end of the story. And I believe up to tier 10 mapping, I shouldn't have any problem, which I'll update to you guys. So because everything else is available on the links below with the builder's guide, I don't think we need to go through too much. I guess the biggest thing to notice is that having Leap Stem with life tap and having enough life regen is actually a really good early game mapping method. And before having my 5 link, I wasn't using life tap support for Sunder. but that means I was susceptible to mana drain and also, spending too much mana. And once I was able to get this chess piece, which only cost me one alchemy, after getting the 5 link, I was doing a lot more damage because of this. In terms of the passives, I do recommend coming over to this particular guide coming from Imexile, because he had the gem choices for the early game, which I adjusted a little bit myself, but I think it is still quite good. The biggest thing is you can follow his pathing of the passives. Now, one thing to notice, while following the pathing of the passives, he actually respect a number of points. And I followed him and used all my remaining refund respect points. I want to give you guys a reminder, if you're respecting, make sure you use the respecialization NPC over here with Facet. Because if you use the respecializing NPC, it will cost you gold instead of your refund points. So the refund points are free, but they are also similar value to one Orb of Regret, and Orb of Regret are not cheap. So do be careful, and if you're in early game, you're respecting, better use your gold instead of using those free refund points, because there is a cost to them. Once you use all of them and you still want to respect, then the gold is costing more, and also you have to buy regret orbs, and those orbs are not cheap. Let me see if I have any. I don't have any left, but you get the gist of the idea, right? So make sure you use the NPC to respec with gold if you follow a changing of trees and also passives, and that may be the best way to play any build. Did you follow this one or any other build? And I think that pretty much summarizes everything. Now, in case you guys are wondering how does the build work before finding this level 464 weapon, so this is me before finding the weapon. You can see we're pretty much doing the same thing. We're doing a little bit less damage, and we're still quite durable. We actually have a lot of flexibility because we don't have to worry about intelligence, and we're still very mobile. And tons of AoE damage, very durable, and the mapping is very smooth after level 20 with this build. And you can see we can jump across ledges, and not any problem, very speedy, and sometimes my internet lags a little bit, but other than that, it is a very fun build, and I'm glad I started as a Berserker for this new season. This is actually my first melee class for Path of Exile 1, and I haven't played Path of Exile 1 for a while, so that's why it took me a little bit time to play around the build and also get the builder's guide ready for you guys. So please remember to come back in the future videos in case we have made updates, and once I change out this weapon, which are pretty much going to keep this weapon for a while, maybe even all the way to tier 10 or tier 15 maps, because this is a really hefty amount of damage. Unfortunately, this is not a 5 link, and I might look into upgrading this one to a 5 link or a 6 link on the chess piece for the future. So before I finish, I'll provide you guys with a short replay of the actual fight using the new weapon, and hopefully you guys enjoy and also can see how the build works. And because it's such a smooth build, I didn't have any risk of dying, and I was really just smooth sailing through the acts. Now, before I finish, quick budgeting is a bit of everywhere. Took me about 1 chaos to buy this particular weapon, took me about 2 chaos to buy this particular amulet. Now keep in mind, I bought this amulet getting as high attributes as I can, and I then used Blast Orbs to reroll the implicit of up to 15 out of 10 to 16. So this way we get the highest attribute. So 1 chaos here, 2 chaos here, and rest of the gears are pretty much less than 1 chaos. This is 1 alchemy, and everything else, pretty much whatever I looted, I just used this. I think this one was 1 chaos, and this was 1 chaos. So 5 chaos in total. Everything else was pretty much 1 to 2 alchemy orbs. And that is the build currently, and I'm sitting on level 65 on day 1 for Path of Exile 1. So let me know what you guys think about the Berserkers for this season. 80% of my friends are playing wound. They're all witches. So I'm one of the few Berserkers. So let me know in the comments as well which of the build are you guys playing and how you finding this new season. Now hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters, and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on the official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is going to be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.